Thank you for keeping it the people's mirror. Now, if this is the first time you're interacting with our channel, please hit the subscribe button. That way, you get to have these stories as timely as they come, but also you would aid in our journey towards a 5,000 subscriber mark target that we have set for ourselves in the first early bits of March. That's towards the end of this month, and within the first early bit of March, we have hope that even before the month comes to an end, we can hit the 5,000 subscriber mark. Right now, we are at 4,125, and so if you hit that particular button, then the numbers start reducing. Now, in this particular episode, we want to bring for you the other side. We have detailed for you what happened in Kakamega. You're viewing it, we are receiving your feedback, and we love that so much. Keep it the people's mirror. We really value and appreciate you. But on the other side, also political activities happened. And so as a political podcast that prides itself as the #1 impartial political podcast in Kenya, we bring it as it happens from both camps. Joho, who is the Cabinet Secretary for Mining, alongside Mbadi, who is the Secretary Cabinet for Finance, and Wanga, who is the chairperson of the ODM party, accompanied Oburu, who is the party leader to Siaya. While they were doing this, the governor of Siaya, Honorable Orengo, was of course in the other meeting with Honorable Sifuna and Babu Wino. So they did this saying that they were in Orengo's bedroom. So before we make political comments of how they were speaking to an open field, because if you compare the numbers in Kakamega and the numbers that were wearing merchandise in Siaya, the numbers in Siaya were just but a handful. But before we make more political comments on this particular part of the ODM team and what they should do moving forward to consolidate the ODM spirit ahead of this NDC that they're calling for, let us first start by the statements of the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable former Governor Ali Hassan Joho.
Ajui mimi nimefunga leo. Ajui mimi nimefunga leo. Mimi ni sheikh leo. Mimi ni maalim leo. Siwezi kula ngoma. Tusalimiane na mkono namna hii namna hii namna hii. Siaya oye. Siaya mambo. Kama ni noma, kama ni mbaya, kama ni noma, kama ni mbaya. Bas mimi nataka niseme mambo machache. Jambo la kwanza, hichi chama cha ODM kimeundwa kwa hali na mali na tabu na mashaka na dhiki na kujitolea. Ni kweli si kweli? Kimeundwa kwa tabu, kwa mashaka, kwa dhiki, kwa tabu nyingi sana kwa kikawa chama cha ODM. Ni kweli si kweli? Mnataka chama kizame nyinyi? Mnataka chama kizame? Mnataka chama kizame? Mnataka chama kizame? Wangapi wataniunga mkono kuhakikisha liwe liwalo, wende waje, wasukume tukisukuma, chama kitabaki chama cha ODM. Tuoneshane kwa mkono namna hii. Nataka niseme mwaka huu ni mwaka 2026. Mwaka ujao ni mwaka 2027. Chama cha ODM katika constituency zote za taifa hii kitaweka wabunge, maseneta, magavana, women rep. Tutangangania kwa katika serikali. Ni kweli si kweli? Mimi nimekuwa naibu wa Raila miaka 10. Mnajua hiyo? I was the deputy party leader of Raila Amolo Odinga kwa miaka 10. Don't you think I want to be the party leader? Ujue kana nataka kuwa party leader? Sinataka hata mimi. Sinatosha mimi. Kwa mimi siwezi mimi. Mtu akinikujia na mkujia. Ukija naja. Lakini chama kimeamua daktari. Sasa mimi ni nani nipinge? Kama chama imekaa ikasema sisi tunafanya nini? Ile kitu watu wajue kwamba hii chama ya ODM iko siku itaweka rais wa taifa la Kenya kupitia chama cha ODM. Na mimi semanga kama wenzangu hawataki, mimi nataka iko siku wataniita rais sasa Ali Joho kupitia chama cha ODM, wataniita Rais Hassan Ali kupitia chama cha ODM. Ama namna gani? Kama ni mbaya, kama ni noma, kama ni mbaya, kama ni noma, kama ni mbaya, kama ni noma, Mungu awabariki.
Oh, that was Joe for you, ladies and gentlemen, speaking to a very handful crowd compared to the crowd at Kakamega, but then they will defend themselves saying these were real ODM people. The other one was mixed up with Ford Kenya, DAP Kenya, and all other Kenya parties that you can mention. But that aside, let us get into what he's saying. So first, he talks about the ODM party being a party that has been built using both resources and pain. Anasema wamejenga kwa hali, mashaka na dhiki. And of course this conversation is coming at a time where Joho is being pushed for the deputy presidential position within the ODM UDA talks. You saw when they were in Mombasa, of course they tried to push the Joho name a lot, where Mombasans now are saying that there is not going to be any kind of conversations on the deputy presidency position without Joho being put in the table. Now this is very interesting. Even before I talk about the battle of party leadership, let us just talk about the second position, if they were still calling for it, because Oburu has confused us a lot of times. We don't know whether that's what they are still seeking. But if they are all still seeking the deputy presidency position out of the talks that they're going to have with the UDA party, then ladies and gentlemen, it's important for you to remember that Wanga wants this particular position because prior to Baba's demise, Wanga was being groomed. A lot of development was being championed to the Homa Bay part of Nyanza, and a lot of devolution and international conferences were also being held in that particular part of Nyanza. And it was very, very evident that both as the chairperson of the party and Baba's closest confidant, or a close confidant, Wanga was being groomed for the VP position. With RAILA in the picture, this would have worked very, very well for Gladys Wanga, considering gender, considering the fact that she has also held a county, and so she's been a county boss to that particular extent, understanding management. And beyond that, with the support of Raila Amolo Odinga, the ODM bloc would have unanimously rallied behind President William Ruto. Now Raila is not in the scene anymore. Wanga aspirations are still there and solid. Oburu's aspirations are also solid. Oburu is also looking for this position, and he said if they are being given DP, then it's the person that is taking the DP position. From the coastal area, they are saying that there's not going to be any conversation with the UDA party if Ali Hassan Joho's name is not in those particular discussions. So as it stands, they want Joho in that particular position, so much that when this section of the ODM party were in Mombasa, there was actually a van with Joho and Ruto's image on it, depicting that if they go into conversations, then Joho's name for DP would be suggested. While all this is happening, Mbadi is coming out and declaring himself as the oldest and fit Luo leader within this particular spectrum. So according to John Mbadi, if ODM party was to be mistaken for a Luo party, then he feels like if there are conversations for deputy presidentship in 2027, then those conversations should rather really include him. So within the section of the party that is remaining to be united together in President William Ruto's part, a lot of interest supersede the party's interests, and that is one way to look at it. Another thing that is very, very clear from the conversation of the speech of Joho is that he has so much desire for party leadership. It's just that the party right now, National EC, has decided that the only person that will sit in that particular position is Oburu Odinga. But this has not taken away his desire to be in that position. And he's made it publicly, not now, not before. Now he was just reinstating it. He's saying that he has only put a stop to his aspirations just because Oburu sits there. Now there have been this talk that Joe would most likely start a coastal party to diffuse votes ahead of 2027 and then rally behind President William Ruto. Now that is a possibility, but as it stands right now, Joho has promised that he wants to become a president one day and intends to be one, and when he will be president, he intends to do that under the ODM party. Now what this shows is that there is still room for the ODM party to have an NDC, have a conversation and streamline the party leadership, but the battle for party leader will be so huge because Joho will be looking for it. Simbarati dared it against Raila when Raila was alive. Oburu will still be in the scene. Winnie Odinga might want it for the legacy of the Raila. Sifuna is dominating the ground wanting it. Within the Sifuna Babu arrangement, Babu had declared that after Raila, it is himself. We don't know whether he's going to now, sublimal his interest for Sifuna or is going to maintain that he still wants the party leadership. So the conversation is going to narrow from President William Ruto's attacks to who is really supposed to be the kingpin. And this is the conversation that most ODM supporters should be looking into ahead of the march in DC, on deciding really who is going to be the party leader. Because with a strong party leader, the ODM party will get back together. But with a weak party leader, the divisions of the ODM party will just keep mounting. So while at it, let us also listen to the statements that were made by the other CS who was present, CS Mbadi, who was a former chairperson of the party, while Honorable CS Joho was a former deputy party leader of this very party.
Siaya! ODM! Ugona ni power! ODM! ODM! Adwana wuko doganda luo matin. An ka wuono okabiro wuoyo gi Siaya kende. Gimokela ka adwana wuogo ganda luo tene Kenya mangima. Namba 1, oganda luo nyako ng'eni unu chalo gi Israel kidwa ng'eyo kitia luo die muma isom kaka Israel chalo. Israel kane wecho gik matek to nitie kaka gigo break ging'iyo kama giaye. Adwaro n'oganda luo mondo kamoro moro ma intie goane mbre kamano, yawa maturkana kamano, yawa ma northeastern kamano. Miyauru ji 2 years mondo ane kaka makete Kenya kane gidhi giomo wuodgi matuo, giomo mana London, gikelo ka mopogo pod obedo Kenya kendo ka gik 27. Lakini sama koro wacho oganda ochopo, koro nyaka wapar kaka jong'ato achiel.
Nobody spoke.
In intellect. Benda paro nu ndago mokelo Mbadi. Lit na kendo chunya chwer. Ka paro ni chama mane wane ko kego neya. Mabedo jakome higa 11. Aneno ka nyithindo moko tugo go. To jaduong' moriwore kodgi. Ni ma ok chandowa mokwongo. Wuoyi ni osechandowa. Jaduong' ni osechandowa. To Siaya umiyo ng'ama chandowa. Ng'ani noketho ne Raila weche mathoth. Ng'ani othago Raila.
Now you see now Mbadi was actually heckled. Yeah, he was speaking in native language. I'm just going to try summarize that as quick as possible for all our viewers who are national. And he was saying that he only likens the Luo community to the Israelite community in the Bible, saying that for the Israelites, whenever issues were difficult, they'd pause and then they'd reflect where they have come from. And so in the same spirit, he says that the Luo should now reflect and pause where they have come from. While he's doing this, he's going ahead to create the enmity speech, which is a common factor in Kenyan politics, where you find one enemy and you send your community against the enemy, and then you find one person to become the solacer, and then you send your community behind that particular person to rescue them. And so while doing this, Honorable Mbadi is trying to remind the people of what happened in the 1960s, when he says that independence had to be post for a Kikuyu man to be brought from London to lead. And of course you understand in that particular dynamics, it's Oginga Odinga was actually Luo who asked for that. But in this particular speech, Mbadi is trying to put it that when leadership goes to the Kikuyus, then they can delay everything until they bring even a sick person from London. This particular speech is aimed at demeaning the political advancement of Rigathi Gachagua politically, and also identifying with him as part of the united opposition, because he feels like it's going to be a community thing that is going to affect the community. I don't want to get much into community comments. Comment in the comment section, let us know what you think. But we are in 2027 and political statements like this are going to be eminent a lot to put communities against communities. And so while he started attacking Orengo, saying that people are giving them an individual that is hard to work with, that is when the ground rejected him and you could see hands being pushed like Tawe, he was being rejected while he was speaking. So a person that was brought to unify the Luos and speak to them ended ended up being rejected in the Siaya part, and that was very, very, very sad for that particular cohort. Yet beyond the Nyanza part, of course, a lot of people believe that Mbadi can do a unification of the community if he walks across, and he can rise as the new kingpin. Now that aside of the ODM party is, I think, something that Mbadi is already doing, and we wish him well to that extent. Now Junet did not speak in local dialect, so we are going to close this particular episode with what Junet said.
Kabla sijaita wale mawaziri wamebaki na wachea Lady Gladys Wanga, wacha niseme moja. Jambo la kwanza, party leader wetu wa ODM ni Dr. Oburu. Dr. Oburu, mimi nataka kusema nikiwa Siaya hapa ya kwamba chama ya ODM sio chama ya kutishwa. Huwezi kutisha chama ya ODM. Hii ni chama ya kitaifa. Ni chama ambayo inapatikana huko Mombasa, Joho yuko hapa. Ni chama inapatikana huko Western, Kakamega. Ni chama inapatikana huko Wajir, tuko na governor. Ni chama inapatikana Busia. Sio chama ndogo ndogo ambayo watu wanatembea nayo kwa mfuko yao kama makaratasi. Tumeelewana hiyo? Chama ya ODM sio chama ya kutishwa. Vitisho baridi na makende ndogo ndogo tuache. Sisi sio watu wa kutishwa. Tumeelewana? Chama ya ODM ni chama ambaye inaongoza nchi ya Kenya kwa wabunge. Tuko na wabunge zaidi ya 80. Tuko na wabunge karibu 90. Wale watu wameenda kando ni wabunge 5 peke yake. Wabunge 85 wako hapa na Dr. Oburu Oginga. Wacha tuwache propaganda. Hakuna chama imegawanyika, chama iko imara, chama iko chini ya uongozi ya Dr. Oburu Oginga na chair Lady Gladys Wanga na sisi na deputy party leader Abdul Samad, deputy party leader Arati. Tuko imara na na secretary general wetu Catherine Omanyo. Wale watu ambaye wanatutisha, tafadhali sasa vitisho imezidi. Tukifungua sasa mlango mtatoroka. Tuache hiyo vitisho, tukae kama kwa amani na kwa heshima na kwa nidhamu. Jambo la pili, wangapi wanasema ati ODM haiko kwa broad base? Tuko hapa na chairman wetu, former chairman minister of finance. Supplementary budget inakuja Monday katika bunge. Tumeelewana na yeye na President Ruto ya kwamba ndani ya bunge tukiwa na chama na Tandi tutaweka 2 billion shillings ya kulipa wale vijana yetu ambayo waliuliwa, walijeruhiwa, waliumia kwa maandamano yetu. Tumeelewana hiyo? Mimi kama minority leader nimekaa chini na chairman ya budget na minister wetu wa finance ya ODM. Hatuombi minister mwingine, tunaongea na minister ya ODM. Tumeongea na President Ruto. Tumesema watu yetu ambao waliuliwa kutoka uchaguzi wa 2017 na 2017 mnajua nani alikuwa rais? Rais alikuwa Uhuru Kenyatta. Huyu ambaye anapatia sasa wao wengine pesa ya kuharibu ODM, huyu ndiye alikuwa kiongozi. Watu wetu wakiuliwa 2017 ya uchaguzi ambaye tuliibiwa. Tumekubaliana na President Ruto na Mbadi tuweke kwanza 2 billion, tukiongeza vijana wetu walipe hiyo pesa. Tumekubaliana hiyo. Tumekubaliana ya kwamba pesa ya county tutaongeza ifike kiwango ambaye.
Okay, so in denial still, saying that the party is together. Everyone can see that their party is not together, but he's talking about a 2 billion allocation that has been set aside. Now this has me thinking, because you know the last day for this particular arrangement that they have with the UDA party should be on the 7th of March. Right now we are on the 22nd of February. So between now and 7th of March is less than around 2 weeks from now, and this is when now a supplementary budget is being introduced in the National Assembly, and the head of the budgetary committee, who is from the ODM party, and the minority leader within the National Assembly is from the my ODM party. And I don't know what the hell this guy is saying. He's even calling a minister for the Republic a minister of ODM. Well, as it may be, the minister for ODM is also from the ODM party, who is the minister for finance here, ODM, is also from the ODM party. Isn't it so conducive really to introduce this particular 2 billion compensation money right now, just when the 7 or 14 days is remaining to the 7th of March 2026. Reading a little bit into it, it seems like smoothing the ground for the NDC of the 27th, which is important, but most importantly for the 7th of 2026, which is a prequel to the NDC, so that when it comes to the 7th of March 2026, they can confidently say that all the 10-point agenda that they agreed with President William Ruto has been met. And if it has not been met, then it has been substantially met. That gives them room now to get into a coalition with President William Ruto moving forward. Now, this is timely, well calculated for them, but the biggest decision for this particular cohort and the other cohort that we detailed before will be on the 27th of March, when the National Delegates Conference will be held and now the leadership of the party will be steered. It's very interesting to see, you know, active CSs of government actually attending political rallies. I don't know what the court said to that, but really it takes away the aspect of being a national cabinet secretary if you cannot refrain from political statements like this. Correct me please if I'm wrong in the comment section. Kindly let us know what you think of the involvement of these cabinet secretaries, of course, in political matters, including internal decisions of ODM as a party. Now, we are closing this particular episode with the statements that were made by the youth leader, who still believes that he will take the Kenyan people to Canaan, passing via Singapore.
Wan kwatero jo watu watero gimene emo watu watero gikamilyo ngone Canaan to wakado kamilyo ngone Singapore kendo kawa negotiate to wan negotiate kawa ni teko kendo gimwadwaro to wang ni murubelie power wan kwatero jo watu watero gimene emo watero gikamilyo ngone Canaan to wakado kamilyo ngone Singapore kendo kawa negotiate to wan negotiate kawa ni teko kendo gimwadwaro ni jowa wang ni murubelie power emo ero kamano to kata kamano.
Now, this particular rally of Siaya was reduced into a Luo rally. You'll pardon me. Most of the political statements that were being made in vernacular, which is something that personally here at the People's Mirror I have said quite a number of times, that I appreciate when leaders speak in their vernacular speeches. But now it's like the entire rally, if you listen to the party leader, it was in vernacular. The CS from ODM, who is in charge of finance, was also in vernacular. And so it will not reach to all our audiences who are not just from this one tribe. Now, I will make a quick just summary on the same, and then we will close on this episode, ladies and gentlemen, where Oburu says that they are not flies, they are bees, and when they are leading their people, they lead their people to where there is oil, because they are bees, they are not flies. And so he's saying they have to do anything to have power. Statement that tunataka power, tuwezi kuwa bila power. And of course, Honorable Oburu Odinga Daktari still maintains that he will take his people to Canaan via Singapore. Let us know what you think of the rally that was held in Siaya. Compare it and contrast it with the rally that was held in Kakamega. Let us know in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen, whether you are in the side that now wants the presidency in 2027, or you are not a fly, you are a bee, and nyinyi mnataka power, mtapitia Singapore mkienda Canaan. Whichever side of this particular political drift that you are on, let us know. Understanding very well that all these political proteges and plays are distractions of undergoing deals that have already been sealed. And so with that open mind, let us know which side you are really on. Now with that, we close this particular episode, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it here at the People's Mirror for a subsequent episode where we are detailing the fight between Oscar Sudi and of course Rigathi Gachagua, where Rigathi Gachagua detailed an entire live video, of course, and he played a voice note of Honorable Sudi daring to do some bad stuff to him. So keep it here at the People's Mirror for that episode. It's coming right next.